Carl's back.
Hey.
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Good. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to hold the microphone.
Yeah.
I realized I lied to Megan, and you never called me out on it. I told her she was tied for being on the podcast the most times, but that was a lie because actually,
I think it's me.
you're ahead of Jonas Dykman. You're ahead of Megan. You've hosted an episode too, once upon a time, many moons ago, man.
Yeah, with Olivier and
Zoe.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was a good one.
5 years ago, maybe.
4. Probably 4. You know that I never listened to it? I never listened to the episode.
You never listened to yourself?
No.
Well, I'll tell you what it sounds like. It sounds like a Frenchman talking English.
Yeah, that's true. This is how it is. You should hear yourself speak French.
Oh, I know. I sound like an Englishman speaking French.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you back. Stoked that we could record a unpacking bikepacking episode. And
The relaxing ones.
for those that have never listened to one, basically it's a segment on the podcast where we just share our thoughts and insights and our years of experience combined to just talk shit about bikes for 1 to 2 hours. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. I've heard great responses so far. So I think they're fun and they're good.
The wonderful world of bikepacking in general.
And we should start with
Yeah.
some Japanese beers in honor of the episode we did on
Chat.
a while back.
Cheers.
Cheers. Anyways, what's new with you, bud?
Just same old. Yeah. The riding around my like the region with my bike and trying to squeeze as much bicycle ride as possible. It's not, like I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for a lot of bike shop around like the world. This season has been like interesting. So it's a lot of work, less staff, and just trying to squeeze as many hours as possible. And then like
Has things slowed? I mean, okay, compared to COVID, of course, but like
it's been
pre-COVID, are things kind of similar? And is it just because they
been-
hired so much during COVID that now they're releasing people? Or
No, it's been like a strange roller coaster since COVID. Like, we bought a lot of like we had nothing because they didn't expect COVID to hit that much. And then everybody heard
everybody
that
ordered as much as
story,
they can because they didn't want to be the one without.
Yeah. So everybody knows that story, like too much inventory and then not enough and then too much again. And then now everybody's trying to get back to a healthy finance situation.
Okay.
So,
Because the economy's not doing very well. So that
no. I've been talking with a lot of other industries and it's like all the same, like all the hobbies are the first one to suffer from like that correction.
Right.
So it's kind of weird because like I was trying to do report today for like last couple of years and it's just like, it's impossible to forecast anything right now because it's like, we sold so much, we sold like nearly nothing. We sold so much.
Yeah.
And then, so right now it's just like the correction and then we're trying to get back.
And then you get like big bosses saying like, how much should we order for next year? You're like somewhere between nothing and everything.
Yeah. I was asked today, like to get a forecast on like how much the workshop would do, but like, it's just, I look at the data and if you look at the data a couple of years back, usually you'll be like probably between this and this. And then right now it's just like between this really low number and this absurdly high number. So you choose.
And it really depends on how the economy does, right? Like if it bounces
Exactly.
back, interest rates go down, all of a sudden it's going to be a whole different ballpark, a whole different game, right?
Yeah. So
I know my wife, she's in IT and, like for the last year or so, if somebody gets laid off or quits or whatever, they don't even hire somebody new to replace them. They just distribute the work more because they're trying to get profitable again or trying to make shareholders happy and
get back to this like equilibrium, like this like kind of balance in like the finance. So yeah, no, it's so it's a lot of work. And then it definitely like there's a lot of people that are really tired. And I would say that I am tired. Like I've said, I'm tired this year more than like good morning to my girlfriend. So It's
How you doing, Carl? Tired.
tired.
Would you like a fourth coffee? It's not going to help.
No, it's not gonna help at all. So no, it was that. So I'm trying to squeeze as much ride as possible.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you been getting many rides in? I know you went and watched one recently, right?
Yeah, I have to mindfully decide to go for a bike ride or for a weekend
Mm-hmm.
now, because it's with the moving, we're still moving, we're still unpacking stuff. It's been like nearly 6 months now. So no, we're just trying to ride as much as possible when it's logical to do so.
Yeah, and I think when you're tired and stressed and stuff from work too, it's like, it's hard to like get over that hump of saying, okay, I'm going to go put on my bike shoes and pants
Yeah.
and shirts and
The first 5 minutes is horrible.
Mm.
The next hour and a half is absolutely awesome. So it's like you have to kick your butt to actually go out. But once you're out, it's like, this is the best day of my life. But like the first 5 minutes, you're like, oh no, what am I doing?
Yeah. I got an e-bike. I've talked about it before. Maybe not.
Mm.
I think I've made some posts and stuff.
I saw your stories.
And it was funny because it was the one, I think it was a clip from a podcast where I talked about the bike and you're like, dude, did you get an e-bike?
Yeah. It's I was expecting you to get one
I
sooner.
was talking to Barry. I was talking with Barry LaChapelle and
yeah.
then he messaged me.
I was expecting you to get one sooner because you got one for SEMA and then.
No, I got mine first.
Oh, you got yours
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You got that well hidden because I didn't know. I saw the SEMA.
Oh yeah. I think I posted about hers first before mine. Yeah. I was
That's
like, I
kind
can't
of like
release the news until I get her one because
that little bit of shame of like e-bikes.
she's like, you always buy for yourself first. I'm like, well,
I got to test the product.
well, it was a pretty. I didn't go planning to get an e-bike. We went to go ride the Simcoe County Loop Trail.
Yeah, I remember.
Which honestly,
worth it? No,
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I was with a kid and a wife, and
how's the trail? How's the ride itself?
it's just rail trail.
Mhm.
I think Petit Trains and all is much nicer.
Mhm.
More stops, more beautiful, nicer views. Like the
Scenery
whole
stuff.
section from the start point going towards Midland, I felt was rail trail, but you're just passing farmlands. It wasn't extremely, it was nice if you don't have that around. But I mean, I live 10 minutes from rail trail that's on the Gatineau River.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing.
and it's a beautiful one, so it's like we're spoiled.
Mhm.
Also, I felt that I should have brought the Chariot. Just bringing the Mac ride for Jasmine to sit in front of me was a big mistake.
You're not the first one I hear saying that.
Yeah. It's Chariot is good if they need to sleep. It's not that heavy if they're just pulling it for nothing with nothing in it. So better just to bring it, be safe, right?
This is
And that was a big screw up because we had a baby that fell asleep 2 days in a row and it's instant. Baby decides to go sleep. You put your arm around her and she just boom out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm 7 kilometers from civilization. I have a baby sleeping on my arm. I can hardly ride and stop in places. And
it's kind of like a rite of passage for parents because like everyone I know that has a kid did
like
the
a
same
kid's ride
mistake.
shotgun or whatever.
Yeah, did the same mistake. Just like, oh, I don't need the Chariot. I'm gonna be fine. And then same story.
Because we thought, we'll just stop at a bench and let her sleep for an hour and a half, and then get going. And we're like, oh, this area where this bench is infested with mosquitoes and is fucking miserable. And
my worst nightmare.
So yeah. But anyways, we're in Toronto. I was at Brockton, stopped in. They were still sponsors of the podcast. Now they are not. But anyways, such as life goes.
Yeah.
And I was checking out the e-bikes that they had, and they were wicked cheap. I mean, like for an e-bike, $2,700, $2,800.
It's the bike industry situation.
And they were but they were clearing stock because they said like, I think other shops were still selling it at $3,600. They're like, we're just getting rid of them because in Toronto, everybody's buying these super cheap e-bikes from the food delivery guys that they're selling off every 6 months or whatever. And they're like, nobody wants to buy a good e-bike. So it's not the same market in Toronto as other places. So they were selling them off. And I said, I messaged a buddy of mine and said, can you go pick it up for me? Because they're going to be closed when we come back Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And so he picked it up and then we picked it up at his house.
Yeah. How do you like it?
Oh man.
Did you replace your car with it or just like?
Kind of.
Yep.
So the car's still in the driveway. The goal is to ride 80% of my days to school. Right now I'm hovering at around 91, 92%.
So you're over here.
But I realize come winter, there's going
That's
to
gonna
be
go
storm
down.
days. There's going to be, even now there's been a couple really heavy rain days, but I still rode. I was like, nope, doing it.
Do you want to do it in the winter?
I do.
Uh,
We'll see.
I would never do that. No, with an e-bike. Like I would do it probably with a fat bike if I was in the middle of nowhere or like forest, but like the salt and everything on the road. I saw some fat bikes like being used year long, and God, it was a lot of tears and like broken dream.
But I feel like for the e-bike, the majority is an aluminum bike. If I hose it off, like I have a little weed sprayer thing,
Mhm.
and I keep soapy water in it. So if it comes home, I give it a quick hose down. I usually turn on my air compressor right at the same time, spray off the water from the drivetrain.
Yeah.
Not like head onto the bearings, but like
Yeah, it's
cassette chain and stuff.
it's the water you can't see.
Yeah,
The water
yeah,
that
I know.
get
You still
into.
put oil and stuff.
But like dielectric grease is your friend if you want to do that. I don't say that it's impossible. It's just
Yeah.
you're gonna there's a lot of maintenance, but it's better than the car. So
Well, that's the thing, man. I've cycled today's day 21 of 23 work days. And
rain or shine.
rain or shine. There was 2 days where I didn't, and that was one was I had a dentist appointment in Canada at 7 p.m. I was like, well, and then the other one I had to pick up some siding with my car after work before the store closed, so my dad could help me the next day fix it.
Round trip. How much is it?
$50K.
$50K.
So that's what 1,225 or so K right now. I think I just checked.
So 25 back and forth. 25 to 25 back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's reasonable.
So
you don't need to charge it.
and it's right. Like, I mean, it's got a big battery, eco 180 kilometers. I think max power. It's 85K, but really 85K max power is probably like 56 kilometers, 60 kilometers max.
Do you use it turbo mode or like?
It doesn't have a turbo, so it's like eco normal high.
Yeah.
I ride it on high, but I'm always kind of pushing that 32. So like,
Yeah.
I have a tendency to keep pushing, even though I know I'm not really gaining from it and I'm just causing myself to work. But I don't know, I like to see how fast I can go.
There's always someone that's gonna pass you on the
And,
bike path. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I do get to work and I'm a little bit winded. I'm a little bit sweaty, but not so sweaty. Like when I ride my gravel bike, I'm just disgusting.
Yeah.
And I'm a teacher, so we don't have showers in elementary schools. So it's like hobo bath is kind of gross there. And like, if you have like face cloth and brown paper towel to dry, and then 5 minutes later, you're completely soaked because your body's still heating for an hour. So
Yeah, that's the thing.
So the e-bike has been clutch. I had one friend go, e-bike, what's up with that? And I'm like, dude, it's me on my bike. At least that's 1,200 kilometers I would have paid for fuel. It's 1,200 kilometers I'd have been angry in traffic.
How many calories did you burn in your car? Compare that on your e-bike. If it's just like a minimum on the e-bike, I would say that's worth it because like that's like you're not in your car sitting like you just say sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
You're still moving.
Yeah.
And
I had some teachers ask me, they're like, hey man, how are you like feeling? I said, you know what? Even today it was cold and foggy and I didn't dress really properly, but I said it was way better than being in the car. Like I get so pissed off at people, and being in the bike, I'm pretty much on bike paths or like roadside bike route stuff almost the entire way until I get to like the last big stretch, but then it's quiet town street and Meadowlands is not too bad at that time. So yeah. And yeah, it's great. Loving it. Have you been riding at all?
E-bike, yes. I actually have an e-bike as well, so you may know.
Yours
And
is much more competitive looking than mine.
Mine looks like a
It's a race bike.
like a race bike. Yeah, it doesn't look like an e-bike, but like I like it because I can turn it off. That's one of the things that I like about it.
And when you turn it off, it's not overly difficult to ride. I mean, you're
Still lighter than my probably than my Taiga EXP.
okay.
Yeah, because overall, if I put like a basket on my Taiga or like panniers or like
You get a little
seat
bit of
belt,
a mechanical resistance though, right? You don't
not too much.
Not much.
No, not much.
This is a Shimano Steps
Yeah, that's a step.
E6000 and it's just a bit like
I think I have 7,000.
Okay.
Funny thing is you can ride it like without the assistance, but I don't want to turn this into like a e-bike e-bike podcast. But like the other day, I decided like to use it just as a bike, and I to go to the lookout. But
Champlain?
Champlain. Yeah, I did black
Without assistance? Or?
without assistance.
How tough was that?
It's really hard, but like
Okay.
not for the reason you may think.
Mhm.
It's the front chain ring is a 47, and you only have one.
Oh, right. You lose the one. Yeah.
I was suffering so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
on pink and black, but the funny thing is, like, I pushed really hard, and then once
We should clarify that pink and black is Pink Lake and
but
black,
like
Black Trail. What's it called? Black
Mountain,
Mountain. That's
yeah,
it. Yeah.
something, or
Black
Black Lake. I think.
Okay. Is it black? No, it's not.
I
Is
don't
it?
know.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Nobody
Okay.
knows.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I went to
Anyways,
Orange the other
pink
day.
and black and orange.
Pink and black. This is like the classic
Gatineau Park is
Gatineau
just
Park.
colors.
Yeah. The pink is for lake though. But yeah, I went up. I met with Emily, my girlfriend, and then we went back to P3, and then it was late, and I was like, "No worry, I have this like tow rope in the back of my bike," and I'm like, "No worry, we'll be home in no time. You don't have to do anything." I saved the battery for the way home in Canada, so like 30K.
30K, yeah.
Yeah. Went to turn on the bike, error, nothing.
Is it because you had the drivetrain turning?
I
'Cause you
probably
get- if you, I found that out because the hard way too. If the crank moves at all when you're turning it on,
no, if you
it'll
put
come up with like an E18 error or
no,
something.
the E110, I think,
Something
or
like
like
that, whatever it is,
it's
yeah.
like if you put your feet on the pedal, that's
Mm,
the error. No, it was not that.
okay.
It was like literally the motor is like not like being
You
calibrated.
drove it too hard without power.
Yeah. So I had to pedal home. It was the worst day of my life
Well, so does the sheet though.
until now. Yeah. So yeah, but it was not too bad. It was just
Yeah.
like really funny. It was like, yeah, the e-bike is awesome, and then just turn it on, and then nothing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Any other riding you've been up to?
last weekend,
Yeah.
I did a little, I would call it a ramble. So it's mostly just, I wanted to do something to actually have a real vacation
Mm.
because, I probably didn't. I think I told you, but like the log driver was supposed to be a vacation this year, and it turns into like multiple layers of unpleasant vacation adventure. I think for you too, actually. So not really for
It
you.
wasn't too bad. It was just I met this really, really cool dude, and we were riding together most of the day. And as we were coming down one of the big hills on the way towards this 200th kilometer, like where the big turn is.
Yep.
And there's like there's a lake, and there's like a community center or something with people.
The restaurant.
Is the restaurant there?
Oppinicon, not the Oppinicon Lodge, the
Something like that.
Sylvania Lodge.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, on the way towards, or maybe about 10K before, he hit like some big chunk of gnarly gravel on the way down a steep hill. And it
That was fresh
boom,
gravel.
boom, double blowout.
Oh no.
It was-
Did he do
And
like the Chris downhill technique where you just flat when you go downhill?
you just go as fast as you can. No,
No.
I don't know. But anyways, the front one sealed up with this tube sealant. Second one wouldn't. We added more sealant. It was too big a gash. So he tried to plug it. Even the normal plug wouldn't work, but he had a mega plug. That also didn't work. So he installed his TPU tube,
Mhm.
which pinched flat as he installed it. And then finally he's like, it would run, and he'd go about a kilometer and then have to stop and pump it up. And we met some dude. Oh, what the hell is his name? It's top of my head. It's not sticking right now, but from Hull.
Mhm.
And of course he's like, hey, you're Chris? Podcast?
Chris podcast. That's your last name.
And he was cool. He stuck with us until we got there, but he had a good pump. So every kilometer or so we'd stop, and the guy would use his pump to get everything up and then try to hit it out as much as he could for the next 5 minutes or
Mhm.
2 kilometers. Maybe it was more than 10. It was like 20.
You told me
It was
every
25 kilometers, maybe. It was like every
Yeah.
3K he had to pump it, I think.
Oh.
And finally we got there, and it was like 12:30, and I had expected to be there like 10 p.m.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I still have to go up Arkhull Road and then come down from to Calabogie.
Yeah, because
all
you
the
were
way
trying
around. I was
to.
going to try to do, 24 hours or one
Yeah.
day, the full 400. So
Yeah.
30 hours, 35 hours, whatever it would be nonstop. And I was just tired. And I said, screw this. And I checked my maps, and it was like 50K ride back to the car, paved roads.
At
and I just-
Sylvania?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just
And I
like
just
cut
crushed it. And
Yeah.
it was super fun, fast ride.
Mhm.
It actually brought back some of that appreciation of pavement. I'd been kind of like hating pavement for years because Canadian pavement is so shit. Like it's so rough and not comfortable.
Yeah.
Sold my road bike because of it after Malaysia's beautiful, beautiful paved roads.
Nothing like doing a bikepacking trip to make you appreciate
A little bit of pavement.
the pavement. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I went back and I slept in my car for a few hours and I came back and got him in the morning because he was like, I'm done too. And then I gave him a ride back to his car.
Hmm.
That, yeah. So, not what I expected, but
Yeah,
it was
but I
fun.
mean,
it was a good 1 day ride. It's kind of what I wanted. That's what I had time for.
you had the experience. I think it's like more important to have the experience than
Mhm.
actually finishing something these days. Mostly because I'm never finishing anything. But no, I did that weekend with Emily and Brandon and one of our friends, and it was just car camping, super comfortable because the last few
Did you use that big tent there that you lent me before?
Yeah, the MSR, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the end of his like life.
Tail end, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking this weekend, I was like, what's the lifespan of a tent? And then we figured out that it's like 10 years. 10
Oh,
years,
okay.
10 years, that's the recommended, like you should probably replace it. It's at 9 right now. So yeah, I'm going to shop for one. If any sponsor of the podcast now, just kidding. But yeah, so we just wanted to have a relaxing weekend with like 2 rides. And so we camped, we cooked. It was amazing. We had manwich for dinner, and then in the
What's a
morning,
manwich?
manwich is like a sloppy Joe, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, Emily will like to hear that I say manwich because she likes to say manwich, but there's probably womanwich somewhere in the world, but like
Much prettier, not
much
as
prettier,
messy and
not as
gross.
sloppy. Who's that Joe guy? But yeah, and we did 80K from the campground to from Fitzroy, took the ferry, and then we did the loop around to Shawville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice. And that's a combination of rail trail and everything as well.
The last bit was a rail trail, and it was really welcome because we were all bunking and then tired. And no, if not this one. One of my friend Don that I met in Europe in Slovakia.
Oh yeah, you did a little
Yeah,
trip with him.
yeah. He came here, and then we did the Prescott Russell, the entire thing to Point Fortune, and then we camped there. And then he went his way because he's crossing Canada,
Okay.
bit by bit. And I was supposed to do the Demi bug driver.
Yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah.
And then you choose between going with a friend. And
Yeah, I think it's
it was like.
I always use you as an example when I'm talking to people. I'm like, like I think Carl got there mentally before I did. Like I have this sense I always need a race, like it's got to be fast. I want to be lightweight. I want to be pushing my boundaries, my limits. But then when I went on my Canadian Shield XL ride this summer, I was like, you know what? I'm not racing, so I'm really missing the human connection of this trip, like doing it with a friend,
Mhm.
And then over that process, it was by around day 5 where I was like, I really miss Jasmine. And I'm like, I want to see my daughter. And like seeing her on a little video call was not enough. So I was chatting with some friends. I'm like, guys, do I pull the plug or, and I was in Mont-Laurier and I was like, I could push through to Maniwaki tonight. And then in the morning, wake up and ride home. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? No, I'm going to keep it the loop. And I was already making some little adjustments as I go because, just trying to improve things all the time. And I was like, I'll cut out these couple little sections just to expedite it.
Mhm.
I won't do all the mountain bike trails in Montagnes Diable. I'll skip them this time.
Yeah.
And then I made it to Maniwaki by restaurants weren't closed yet. So it was like 7, maybe 7:30. And I made it home by 1:30 in the morning and surprised my wife and daughter. And it was perfect. I didn't care that I skipped the whole Otter Lake section of the Canadian Shield 400 and that last part of the XL. I was like, doesn't matter. Like at this point, like for me, it was like, I had my fun. I was out for 7 days, 7 full days and had a great ride. And I was ready to reconnect with family and see my little baby, because she grew on me at some point, that little worm.
Yeah. That's kind of funny you say that, like the human connection, because like everybody's like asking me about Japan. How was it to like travel the country? And I know how to ask for a plastic bag in a 7-Eleven, but like apart from that,
I don't even know how to ask that.
And I was like so pro. It was like,
it's great though. They still have plastic. That's the best part.
No, fluent communication of like like the sumimasen and onegashimasu, and then all of this, just like to get like them to eat my
Plastico.
my food in the microwave. But like that was one of the things that I actually, like, people said like, what was your takeoff? And it's like, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful country. It's amazing. You should go there. With the human connection
Without the language.
without the language barrier. And yeah, that was the one thing that I actually felt
Yeah.
really much. It's like, here it's so easy. You just go, you talk with people, you ride with people. There is like this like blocks in between, like that wall in between you and the people, that yeah, I felt it. So now I'm more mindful of the interaction that I have with the people when I go out there and ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to go like bike travel in Central Asia because I do speak Russian. So it'd be really cool to have that like deeper connection with the locals that I think a lot of people that go touring there just don't have, right? So I think like it's one of those, when you got that extra language, or like Chayo, when you know Chinese, like imagine how traveling around rural China would be if you actually spoke Chinese, or Mandarin, and could have a conversation, like
You can do without, but like it's not going to be
Google
as
you Google,
deep.
it's not the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I did the Gravel du Parc this last weekend.
Ultra local to you.
Yeah, super local. When I heard it was coming and I forgot about it, I checked, it was all sold out, and I was like, crap. And I thought, you know what? Searched on Ride with GPS, found both routes. Somebody had posted it and saved it.
Oh, so you were about
And
to do
I was
it.
like, I'll just hijack the ride. And the route has arrows. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go for a ride this weekend anyways. So I'll go there and maybe I'll just do the route, but whatever, on my own time. Right. And then I thought, well, being who I am and people recognizing me, it's not really great if Bikepack Adventures is out there just ghost riding rides without paying.
Yeah.
So I went inside and asked, and they're like, oh, well, it's full. And I said, well, I'm going to be riding there anyways. So like, you might as well take my money. And they're like, that makes sense. Okay.
It's like, you choose profit or like crime.
I was like, I'm going to be riding around the area. I'm either going to ride the route or I'm going to ride slightly modified, whatever I was going to ride originally. I mean, definitely up to the Pagan Dam. So maybe I would have come down and gone towards La Pêche General Store if I wanted to cut it shorter a bit. But they're like, yeah, it's a great point. We'll check. And they called, I think they called Jacob, but I'm not sure. And then they got back and said, yeah, if you want to do the 70, there's space. Perfect.
Amazing. This is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's upper right of the dam. It's exactly upper right of the dam.
Okay.
Their 70-kilometer route is the upper right of the dam on raggravel.ca.
Do you go in the park at all, or?
No, you kind of follow River Road. Very similar to the Log Driver's Waltz. You head up towards Pagan.
Yeah. Oh, it's the classic.
So kind of opposite. And then once you get off Pagan, you cross through low and you keep going straight for a couple of kilometers, 5 kilometers maybe. And then you turn, you go down Kalala and all those roads. It's upper right of the dam.
It's a classic. Yeah, it's the classic.
Yeah.
Pagan loop.
Yeah. If there's one thing I would criticize is that like nowhere does it say that they're using upper right of the dam, which maybe they should in their thing, saying like we're using the classic route, because they definitely didn't create it, but it's a good ride. It's a beautiful.
They did promote it really well, though.
Really, really well.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
Yeah, there were 5. I think sold out at 500 people. So
that's amazing.
And one with me.
500. And the other people that didn't pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know of at least one. So. Yeah, and then other than that, I've actually been doing dynamic cyclists finally more regularly. That's like the online
on the trainer.
No, it's just like, because it's like body stretch, like they have stretching, they have strength exercises.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And surprisingly, I'm a wuss. No, I have a lot of muscles that are not up to par.
I went to
mostly around the butt.
I went to Cirque du Soleil with Emily and her family. Yeah, Echo.
So good, right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then you see like all those people like moving their body like in a way that you're like, wow. And then I leaned over Emily and I said like, I heard myself this morning brushing my teeth. So we should probably stretch.
I have a kid in my class today, a young Korean kid. And somebody's like, Mr. Panaski, he can do the splits. I'm like, no way. I'm like, show me. And he just drops. It was like Bruce Lee style, just from standing, dropping full speed. I'm like, I would have landed on a nut.
It's like, ouch.
But he's like, I was like, did you do Taekwondo in Korea? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, of course. And you spend years training to do splits. Like, and other kids like, how does he do that? How's that possible? I'm like, practice, guys. Like, he didn't do that overnight. He didn't just come in this morning and say, I'm going to do the splits. Like, it was cool. It was epic though. I was like, I was impressed. I was.
Did you see for how long did you do that? Like, did you like see any improvement so far, or?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've been doing I haven't been as diligent on the stretching ones because there's stretching programs like every day for 15 minutes. Megan is a bomb at it. When she was here a year ago and she was at my house for a large part of a month, every day I saw her, she's like, oh, I gotta go do my stretches. I'm like, determination, man. She's next level though. I haven't done the stretching much, but I've been doing the strength ones.
Yep.
It's twice a week. And I think I didn't do 2 last week, but I will this week. I haven't done any yet this week, so I stand corrected. But it's hard, you know, like yesterday I rode my e-bike and the battery was really low. So I was on eco the whole way to work and I rolled in, it was dead, but you know, it was a hard workout. Like I was tired by the time I got there. I was like, cause it's harder. It's definitely harder, you know,
It's heavier.
it's heavy. But yeah, dynamic cyclist is cool. I've been slowly getting back into it the way I'd like to. Any new gear you've been experimenting with or anything?
So you won't remember, but I will remind you.
I remember it. No.
You remember? Yeah, that thing. I was talking to you about like basket packing, which is like the most extreme niche like category of bike packing that you could probably
Is
find.
it who was it that went to the spring rally? Was it I feel like it was, what's his name? He was at the summit with Bushtaka. That I knew him and
Owen? No,
Owen's
not Owen.
full cycle. David
Burnford?
Bird, is it? No, the one he had a customized like old retro bike, and he had a
Oh my
he
God!
got a custom made bag for the rack.
Yes. Oh, I will really be angry at myself if I don't remember. Really cool.
And he presented at the bikepacking thing for that bike group there. What's it called there? That shit. Now this sounds really intelligent. This
Yeah. It's like we know our stuff. Okay, so it's he works at not
Bushtaka a little bit.
Man, it's not. He works at
David.
Guys,
we're getting there, Dave. We're getting there.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm fully transparent. I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Let's try to see if I can remember before you find it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
David Shelnut. No, that's the lawyer.
Not David Burnford. Not David Belenky. Shoot out to
Is
Belenky.
it Belenky?
No, it's
not.
Belenky.
It's not.
Not David Totolo.
Maybe it's not David at all.
Oh man, what's his name?
Anyways, he was rack packing or whatever.
I'm really sorry. We'll probably put it in the description, isn't it?
This will all be cut.
Yeah. It's gonna bug me forever. But yeah. I experimented with 2 setup, like the classic walled pannier, not pannier, basket, and the Blackburn bag, which is like a basket bag. I think it's just called the 137 basket bag.
Okay.
And
does that mean it's like 13.7 liters?
No, it's there's 2 standard.
137.
I was just waiting for it. I was just like I swear.
I keep saying I gotta retape it, but this seriously.
I'll do it. I swear. So no, there's 2 standard.
That's awesome.
There's 2 silent, and then there's okay. Yeah,
I was gonna move my body next time.
2 standards of basket. There's like the wall. So it's all named walled because of the company, and there's like the 139 and the 137. The 139 is a size which is bigger, obviously, and the 137 is the most standard one that bags maker are using for. So since it's a standard and everybody's using that standard, which is really rare in the bike industry itself, It's really great because there's a lot of bag company that are making it for that standard. And then the Old Man Mountain, let's say, they made a basket, which is standard with 137
Okay.
walks.
So you can fit any 137 built bag into
137.
that frame.
Yeah.
For any listeners of the podcast who happen to not be watching video, my studio has these little sound deadening cubes on the wall, or hexagons, and one just fell off as we were talking. And I was telling him earlier, I got to retape it and make it better.
You didn't.
Yeah, I haven't nets, obviously. So how's it been?
Really great.
Yeah.
Really great. I'm not organized at all as a person. I'm organized in my work. I'm organized in like the way I do stuff, but I'm not organized in my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it's like a pannier, but flat, you open the flap on the Blackburn, you undo the cord, and then everything is there up top. So you need something fast. It's going to be on top.
How deep is the bag then? Is it like 12 inches, 10 inches?
No, not even. I think it's like 8 inches.
Okay.
So
do you think like packing cubes, kind of like Tailfin has made those packing cubes for their bag? Like if somebody designed packing cubes that would allow you to pack into there. Hey, Luke Calado, listen to this.
Yeah. You need to do that now. But Brandon Calado.
Yeah, Calado, Luke. Yeah, that's
yeah, but that would make it that I have to probably sort stuff into cube and then defeat the purpose of me
just throwing shit in.
Yeah. I just want to. So the thing is, like, the Blackburn one is cool because it's expendable. So you can make it as big as you want.
You can just stack up, like go higher if you need.
Oh, you could probably go like probably 20 inch high. So yeah, you can put a lot of stuff in there. Then I tried the, it's great, but I'm always looking for something else. And, I recently was able to order, Swift.
Yeah,
Swift, you can order. Swift, bags.
You can also order.
Yeah. From, Orange Sports Supply now in Canada. So,
okay.
Yep. And, I like Halvin.
Do you guys sell them through the shop or?
Yeah, we do now. Yeah. Alvin there is always
Carl's like, I need a deal on these. So guys, let's sell these.
No, it was not this way this time around. It was actually the other way. It's this Alvin knows that I'm bikepacking and I'm always looking for something new. And then he contacted me before they actually announced it. And they were like, we're going to have those. I know you want them. Like, do you want to place an order?
Well, I think Swift does a lot of really cool stuff because like they also promote like these campouts in those cities.
Yeah.
We don't have one in Ottawa, huh? Like that'd be really cool to have.
No, they do.
It's usually through a bike shop though. It's like organized. I mean, it doesn't have to be, I guess.
No, I think they do like the one that is like in December, like the night out.
Okay.
Which is very popular, but
Around
like for
here?
the rest, it's worldwide.
Okay.
So,
because I know like Brockton had a Swift camp out, and I know that Dismount had a Swift camp out, and like so, I feel like there's probably a lot of other shops that do.
I don't know how they organize.
Maybe anybody that sells their products, they get enticed to do it. I don't know.
Probably, I don't know how they organize that now because they. I've been on their website, and then there's like the Swift bags company, and then there's also Swift Adventure.
Oh,
and on the adventure side, it's all like sold out or not available right now. So I don't know what's the status of this, but it's like the product itself are very interesting. I love the Swift camp out, but it's in December, and I swear to never like winter camping again.
No.
Just
gotta get quilt.
No, just
don't
got
do it
to
in your bivy bag. That's my recommendation.
Just got to hydrate and not having like a heart attack in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But no, I tested their new basket bag, which is called a sugar loaf.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Yeah, it's great. Some drawback: the flap in the front is 2 little magnets, but they're not strong enough. So when you're riding, it just open.
Okay.
And I love the Blackburn because I can just like put stuff in it. The Swift is literally more limited because of the way it's made. Yeah. But yeah.
So like the Blackburn ones is a kind of a roll top with clips down, or
it's kind of like a cinch cord close, and then you just put a flap on top, and then you can adjust the strap. So I like the Blackburn over the Swift. I will be able to say it by the end of
Yeah,
this podcast.
maybe.
Uh, but I love the style of the Swift.
And
It's
Barry LaChapelle would be happy to hear that
yeah.
his word on podcasts goes so far, because you went and bought a bag that he talked about, didn't you?
Oh,
So
I literally listened to your podcast on my way back home, and then while I was at home, I went back on my laptop and I ordered an Ollie pack.
that was it. The Ollie pack by
Swift.
it is Swift, right?
Yeah. Didn't try it yet.
Okay.
It looks amazing. Didn't
Yeah.
try it because I have my favorite like saddle bag,
Small
seat
saddle
bag.
bag, or
No, it's about the same size. So I think the Holly pack is
6
like
liters,
8,
I think you told me.
7, 8, 6.
So I know the restrap one was 7.
Yeah.
I thought he said the Ollie was 6, but I don't know.
Probably 6. But like the yeah, segue into that, the Arkel seat packer with the integrated frame. If you have a mountain bike, or if you love your bag to be like really stiff, this is like so far up there in my selection, because it's sturdy, there's no sway, so it's the only one that I would consider.
This is like a clamp. It comes down. Nobody could see my hands except for you.
Yeah.
Clamp comes off the seat, and it kind of comes down with a.
It's kind of frame,
It's a little
like
frame, yeah.
like a
And
not
then
a D
and then
shape.
the bag kind of slides on it.
Slides on it, and then it's kind of like a mini rack, and then the bag is integrated on it. Super solid. It's
What's it called? It's
the Arkel seat packer, and I would recommend the 11 liter. And I would recommend this one over a rack and panniers if you have the option to. All the rest, I'm not like I would go with a rack and
You've
top
really
pack,
to like into the rack and pannier world, right?
like anyone else.
It seems like bikepacking went from, well, traditional bike touring to as streamlined and minimal as you can go, which still has a big place. And it's because if you're going to do any kind of racing, I mean, sure, tail fin rack with a top bag is great because it's streamlined. But as soon as you start putting panniers on stuff, you're going to start to have a bit more drag and also some weight, right? Like I find getting used to a rear rack and stuff again, it's like there's a weight, the balance when you're climbing. If the bike moves left and right, everything feels heavy, right? So
I would probably recommend this one. Back to basket. What I like about the Old Man Mountain is you have mold attachment. Like if you're in the army, you know what I'm talking about.
And mole.
That kind of attachment where you can, like, it's all square, and then you can put the Swift bag also come with those kind of attachments, so you can just like whip it through, so you can put stuff on your basket instead of your handlebar. If you have a suspension, or if you have like a lot of gizmo on your handlebar, that makes it easier to manage all of that. And so you have a clean cockpit, and then everything is on and in and around your basket. So use that. Still use the prototype from Old Man Mountain. It's not a secret anymore. Everybody knows it, but they've been around. I can wait to see the final product. But so far, so good.
It's taking time, which could be a good thing.
Yeah, they taking their time to get it right, to get a product right. Yeah.
And I've been using since spring, maybe the tail fin frame bag, partial frame bag, I guess you could say.
The wedge, isn't it?
No, they make a little wedge too, but they make a full partial as well.
Okay.
So I think they make, there's a lot of sizes. I think it's 6 sizes of the partial frame bag, and 3 of the wedge or something like that. Or it's 4 and 2. I think, I forget exactly. So my bike, and it's cool because their app, if you're a tail fin fan, you can set up your camera on your phone through their app, looking at your bike, and click the size of the bag, and it will superimpose it into your frame so you can see how well it fits. So when I did it, I could see that the 3 liter partial frame bag was definitely, there was lots of space left. And then the next size up was 3.8 liters, and it was like much more snug, and I was like, it's probably a hair too big, right?
Okay.
A hair too big, but it fit well. It's just like when I put my bottles in, the top of the bottles touch the bottom of the bag. There's a little bit of a push on it, but I
You
was like, you know what? Like as far as a non-custom bag goes, I have never had a frame bag that is as good a fit, like it's usually there's big gaps where your straps are stretching around because it's not made customized, right? And so I'm pretty impressed.
Mm.
And somebody said something really funny to me the other day. Actually, it was during the Gravel du Parc. I saw a guy who was bikepacking, and I pulled up beside him and said, "Oh, where are you heading to?" And we started talking, and he had, the tail fin top bag and panniers and pretty much a setup like mine, except he even had the frame bag. And we started talking about the frame bag. He goes, "Ah, ribbed for my pleasure, not hers." Because for those that know, tail fin bags have a little carbon fiber rib in them so that you can zip it and unzip it on the fly without having
have to
too
fold.
often. The bag doesn't want to zip
Yeah.
shut, right? You kind of got to get two hands to hold it. And
Yeah.
it's a constant problem. And this one just zips so good. But yeah, I loved his line.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get um like anything to fit perfectly if it's not custom.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, a custom
on-
bag for sure. If it's like, especially if they use lace and stuff or like
Yeah.
paracord as the tying point, because covers everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could, it's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. It's going to fit. That's for sure.
That's why I think there's like two markets for bike packing bag. I think there's one for like the mass market, the high end to to the low end. There's the all around frame bag, all around like handlebar bag. And then there's also like the market with custom bags where you want it to fit exactly to your bag. And I don't think like there's a lot of people that say like,
and you get the color you want, you get the style
exactly
you want, you get the design
the fabric
you
you
get
want.
everything you
Yeah.
want. So it's
Yeah. But I don't think like there's a lot of people that said like probably tell those small bag maker just like, oh, you have a lot of competition from Apidura, from like Tailfin, from like Toe Peak, and I don't think so. I don't think they have a
I don't
competition.
think it's the same. It's two different markets.
Two different market, completely different. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Like Tailfin sent me a set of everything, and I mean, I'm just like everybody else, but I spend a lot of time podcasting where I can't go do side jobs and make money. And like, this is how I'm involved in the industry. And
Yeah.
so I'm fortunate that way. But yeah, like custom frame bag that's in the colors you want, like that appeals to me too a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I started building a frame bag last year for my fat bike. I didn't finish it because winter disappeared.
Oh,
So I'll try to finish it this year before winter really comes. So maybe by Christmas holidays.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, like you get the color you want, you get the materials you want, it's fun. It's nice, but, pretty basic for the first time. It was the first
you
try.
don't need to be, you don't need it to be completely fancy. You just you want it to be functional. But yeah, we talking about that. There's a Brandon who we talked earlier.
Yeah,
I started to do like ultra low cost bag for like Ottawa. So
and it's cool because he was at the summit showing, when we did the show and tell, and he was talking about what he made, and everybody was so stoked for him. And it was really great to see this like positive feedback and not somebody coming up going, well, this kind of sucks or something, like it was such a supportive crew. And
he didn't want to sell it.
And and he walked away feeling good. And
he didn't want to sell like all of his bag at the beginning. He was just like, yeah, he just made the bag because he didn't want to spend a lot of money on bags.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
He's selling them for not too expensive.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah. Like he's keeping his price
Maybe I
very
should
reasonable.
order an early release Calado.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, yeah, I was on the forefront.
It's Calado, by the way. It's no, I think he's doing a great job with the custom bag.
Yeah, I'll hopefully bring
Affordable.
some to the summit and can sell them or something next
Yep.
year.
Yep.
He's around. So anyways, I've been super impressed with the Tailfin frame bag, like after having used it for a lot now. Sometimes it's hard. You get a piece of kit and you want to talk about it, and it's like, well, I haven't really put it through the test yet. It hasn't been through the ringer. But that frame bag has now a couple thousand kilometers on it, so I feel like it's a decent amount of time. Some really cool innovative functions on it, like the left side, usually have like a sleeve. You can hold like small stuff.
Yep.
It's stretchy, the fabric inside. So you can actually stick something there that's like odd shaped and it doesn't deform the whole bag. So it's kind of cool. My pump Velcro's at the top. There's 2 Velcro loops inside the top of the bag so that you can stick your pump in there and Velcro it up.
That's great.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, you don't have to look for it.
It's just that when you unvelcro it, sometimes you accidentally pull the whole thing and then the Velcro comes out and you're like, So mental note, make the Velcro a little longer and sew it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I'm really cool with all that stuff.
I saw, I just want to add something. I saw a prototype. I cannot tell the company, but the company name, but I can say that I saw something that was really cool. It's transparent, like some see-through material, and it's on the bag. So it's a seed bag, and you can see inside the bag. So it's kind of great because like
I'd be riding with somebody like, Chris, is that a thong in there?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what's cool? It's also there's like optical fiber in it.
So I guess it's a good piece of like kit you've come across, or you're like, that's coming out.
Yeah.
Optical fiber, what you can turn on a light?
The entire bag turned into a light.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a great thing.
Is there like an integrated battery? Is it just
integrated? I think it's USB, and then you can plug it into a battery pack.
So you just stick it in your tent, plug it in, and you have this big dome.
You just have like that giant light in the back that you can be seen like 360 degrees.
So like even when riding.
Yeah. The entire bag.
Is it light or red?
It will probably make sense that it's red in the back.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah, can't wait to be out because I want to test it.
Maybe it'd be like what's it called there? The I have that 360 degree
the red
vest. No, I have that light
Okay.
vest I could wear sometimes when I was like Tracer 360. It's a running vest, but I've worn out bikepacking things too because it's great. You get seen, and it's like it flashes in all these different colors.
It's the same kind of
probably
thing.
the same kind of thing, and then like you can, if it pulsates in different colors, like it's going to just attract people's eyes, right?
Yeah,
that's
neat.
great. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something really cool too. For the first time ever, I signed up on Kickstarter for something.
Oh, for what?
And I never do this stuff. By a company called, I think it's called the Catal. It's the Wind Anchor Tent.
Okay.
And so they're releasing it. Like they've now taken my money, so I hope this is happening.
Yeah, I hope for you.
But basically, it's a single pole tent.
Mm-hmm.
The pole like going across the sideways on your tent. Imagine
like a bivvy,
kind of like a bivvy would at the hood, but it's in the middle of the tent.
Okay.
And then it's 2 long pieces, so it stakes into the ground.
Okay.
And it makes like a really long hooded in the middle, so you can sit up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It opens on all the sides and stuff. You can like set things up to adjust for the wind. It's 2.5. It's 1.5 layers tent. However that makes sense.
Like the
and then there's you can also buy you can buy this cover tarp type thing that goes with it, and that allows you to do so much more functional stuff, and it makes it 2.5, so you could use it 4 seasons. So yeah, it looks really cool, and it wasn't too crazy. So it was about $300 Canadian.
Is it like, what kind of material is it?
Now you're getting beyond me now. I forget.
Because
it was a while ago.
It
was a while ago, but it's it looked cool.
Yeah.
I was like, who knows? Hopefully it's not a scam, and hopefully it comes through eventually. And
if it's about the same weight as a bivvy, like you're getting.
Oh, it was like, I mean, it's bigger than a bivvy. That even has like a little shoebox in the end, so it's got like you can zip it shut, so you don't have to smell your shoes.
That's important.
Yeah. Some really cool features,
Okay.
and I think it weighs in at less than 2 pounds, so under 900 grams full on. I think it's like 700 something maybe.
It's not too bad.
And they make a pro version that'll be like 100 grams lighter. So
when are you supposed to receive it?
It's supposed to be this before winter. So
can't wait to borrow it.
We'll see. Any big changes to your setup? I guess you kind of touched on that a bit. You're a little bit of basket camping, a little bit of.
Yeah, big change to my setup. Let's say present change to my setup. It's funny, like we went from touring, full touring, like with like we talked earlier, and then we went to extremely light bikepacking. I think that periods of time allowed us to experiment with lighter gear, but also forced the company to actually adapt their gears to the new scene, which is bikepacking.
Bikepacking, right? Because before it was like people are just using camping gear or hiking. Ultralight hiking gear was the go-to.
You saw like shorter pole tent and titanium.
Yeah, and this one I invested in is they're 12-inch stake, like 12-inch sections. So similar to Big Agnes's bikepacking range,
MSR and all of this. So the funny thing is, like, I went back to a more traditional touring setup, which I adapt for bikepacking.
Integrated onto a rugged bike kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Like for bikepacking on my Taiga EXP, but I like with panniers and everything, like I was talking the other time. But since the gear has been like shrunk so much, I'm good for a French guy. Since the gear shrunk so much in between that transition, it's amazing what your
experience is just better.
Like, you're touring, you have the same exact equipment as you would be like fully touring with like 4 big panniers, but it fits in like really small package.
Kind of and I haven't released this episode yet. I'm not sure which one's going to come out first, but Dominic Menard was talking about that. He went from 4 panniers to 2 panniers and 2 10-liter tailfin bags, and still had space because he just modified and got rid of things he wasn't needing. And I mean, even in his time, he was already probably at lightweight with most of his stuff, except he carried a coffee grinder and things like that.
He didn't start lightweight.
No, not lightweight, but I mean, the technology and the gear was already pretty good. That's just, he carried lots of stuff. Many people do, right?
He needs to film, so he needs to carry a drone. It's like Jonathan Berroy. It's like when you carry a laptop, when you carry a iPad, 2 phones, and a drone, like you need space. So his setup when he started, like in Victoria, was like 110 pounds.
I think it was 116 or maybe a little bit more. We talked about it recently.
My God, yeah. No, so and when he crossed Canada, he went like super light, but like he didn't. Like
he
that's
film.
The thing.
He didn't do all that stuff. Yeah.
So you don't feel like you need as much space. You still have the same exact amount of gear, but like the gears are way better than it was like even in 2015 when I toured Europe.
Yeah. You couldn't find a 1 kilo tent that was affordable to anybody. Like I have a tarp tent that's it's about 1 kilo, I think, with poles and everything, and that's a 1.5 person. You can fit two 20-inch mats. That was, I think when I bought it was 2015. It was like $500 US dollars, and that was pretty pricey. And that was probably the cheapest deal out there.
Yeah.
So
we were lucky.
But I do find like Big Agnes, for instance, has the bikepacking tents versus the regular tents. And the bikepacking ones are 140% the cost of the regular ones, or 130. They're significantly more expensive.
Do you think there's like a markup for
bikepackers?
I would say, what it is like green pastel tax, as like everybody's bikepacking or wearing green, and like it's like a moss tax.
So I think probably there is. I mean, it would be pretty easy to make your own tent poles that are 12 inches if you want to buy a tent that's cheaper, right? So if you're, like, if you were just out to get a good tent, you could find the exact same tent. So use Big Agnes as non-bikepacking tent, and go buy some poles and cut them down to 12 inches and put new bungee line through it. And you could even take the end poles from the one that comes with that have the little knobs you need, cut those shorter and integrate those into the ends so you have it perfect, and make yourself a new bag to hold it, because it'll be a little bit wider and shorter and smaller, and you'd be laughing and you'd save a couple $100.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't do it personally.
No, neither would I, but you could.
It's possible.
Like you can order tent pole stuff online. It's so cheap.
Yeah. So that's one of the change that I did to my setup. Apart from that, I'm probably future kind of like use my local resource as a frame builder with Flansbury.
Oh yeah,
Jacob
this is a great
Flansbury.
little,
Yeah, which I'm gonna probably modify Panorama Taiga EXP. Since they're steel, they're easy to modify, and then had a pinion gearbox on it. So make the first, hopefully make the first. So I'm not surprised in the
Why not
spring.
do this with the Torngat tie and then have like the best of both worlds for fat biking and non?
Because I already have a carbon fat bike.
You're like, shit, Chris, okay, I got to modify 2 bikes.
No, I don't. I really like the Taiga EXP.
Yeah.
I like the package. I like the format, and I like how streamlined it is. And the Thai bike is really great, but I have a guy that can do it.
But you have a Taiga XP right now. Why don't you just use that one and get a cut and order the pinion?
Because I don't want to cut through this frame.
Okay.
It's like, it's my precious. So it's kind of like, if you modify a frame, you know that you will have to get it painted again.
Right.
Because you're going to burn the paint, you're going to scratch it. So
at least you'll be changing the paint on the bottom half. That'll like make a 2 paint color scheme.
I'm going to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll lose the artwork.
I know. I asked for a sticker and Simon said no. So, Simon, if you hear this, this is your second chance to get me some stickers.
Yeah, this is it's a pretty cool. This could be a cool project because it's got the split chainstay at the back, or a seat stay.
Yep.
So you can pinion it, drive belt, all that.
E-shift too.
Yeah, that's right. Pinion E-shift. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm going all out because I've been jealous of David Tuttle bike since forever. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna one up him once over again. I can't wait to see like
this
what
is
else
like
he's gonna
the
do.
one bike to rule them all if you get this done.
Oh yeah.
You might not ever ride anything else again. Yeah, you will.
You know me, I will.
It's like you can't have 6 different bikes. You can't have 6 setups on one bike, so you got to have 6 bikes.
Yeah.
You know, I got a really cool bike recently. My buddy Alex Garcia, who presented at the summit first year, he just picked up a Reese and Mueller cargo bike with it's a Bosch drivetrain, double batteries, pinion. I know it's a roll-off hub. I was like, how much does this thing cost? He goes, it's a car. I was like, my car's worth about 10 grand now. He's like, more. It is sick looking. Like, what a machine. He's like, yeah, it gets about 200 kilometers range.
Wow.
I mean, on your lowest setting, right?
Yeah,
so it's like
it's
like my bike, but his a full-on cargo. Like,
cargo has always been like those unicorn bike that I'm like, I'm gonna do it
one day.
Not today. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a long tail cargo. I think just because like I wouldn't mind a cargo bike anyways, let's be honest. But the front basket one, they're just a little bit long. They're a little unwieldy. Like, I mean, I guess you get used to it and it's probably not a big deal. But they're also really pricey compared to like just a long tail that you can still throw your kid on with the little bench and stuff. And I don't mean like the rad power wagon. Like, those are pretty cool as far as
if you want to like a pedal power one. I know Memento is doing one.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
she makes a really
short wheel.
It's a short wheelbase,
but with a platform.
Yeah, there's a name for that, right? Like mid platformer or something smaller. It's cool. I rode on it last year.
Yeah, that's an amazing bike.
I rode it and rode on it. Super fun.
Yeah,
not by last year. I mean last May. This past May. Yeah. What else? Oh, I changed my handlebar setup again. I took off obviously everybody knows I'm sponsored by Redshift. So I wasn't loving the loop handlebar just because I feel old and I'm not as flexible as I used to be. So I didn't feel I took advantage of the loop ever. I was never like putting my hands on it to ride. I'd usually put aero bars on. So that was kind of just taking over and kind of made the whole loop and the bag kind of pointless.
Who used those?
I don't know. Gravel riders, UCI riders that can't have a loop that goes past their handlebar.
Real question, because I have like the Shimano one and the Shimano version of those little bars and never used it. Yeah.
I think if the loop actually came up so you could grab it more. So if it was longer and more like an aero bar to rest with, I think it would be better. But I think the whole purpose was to keep it UCI legal.
It's not for old men.
It's not for old men, for young people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I switched that out and I put in the newer top shelf handlebar,
Yeah,
which kind of looks like a retro version of a drop bar BMX bar.
50 and 70,
50 and 70 or 75. Yeah, I think it's
70.
70 maybe.
Yeah, the rise.
I got the 50, not too high, and I
Yeah.
actually flipped my redshift stem, so now it's going -6 degrees of drop
So
or
you don't
six
change your
degrees drop.
fit.
So it's probably minimal change. It's
Yeah.
probably 1 centimeter difference, but I also lowered it 1 centimeter on my stem. So
Mhm.
I wanted to accommodate that. It looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Only problem I have with it so far, I think I told you earlier, is it's a 27.2 or 20. What is that bar diameter? 27.2.
It's gonna be like a 31.8 on the bottom, but on the top
31.8
part,
on the bottom, and I think it's 27.2 on the top,
yeah,
which means I can't even hook on my redshift aero bars.
or 25.4, which is the standard,
Oh, maybe
would be the standard like small like
bar. Yeah, I
handlebar
haven't really
that
measured
you.
it, but anyways, I need to get
Yeah.
some shims or something so I can try putting on the aero bars.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it defeats the purpose. I mean, they're beautiful bars, and I just got the bag for it that I'm testing out as well, and it's really cool looking. But I'm like, it might be great for gravel, but it's not going to fit. It's not going to suit me for a bikepacking adventure where I want aero bars, you know?
Mhm.
But if I'm not putting aero bars, it's great. So,
Is there
um,
a way to put some?
well, I guess I just got to put some shims and then I could probably put them. And I put the quick release aero bars, just like the redshift ones, because so functional, you know? If I take Jasmine on the bike, she doesn't have these elbow pads right in her face that she's going to bash her head off every time
Yeah.
I hit a bump. So I just take them off and hook on her seat and she's good to go. So yeah. Yeah. So top shelf bars look cool. They're kind of a retro. They kind of look like something from BMX days, you know?
Yeah, it's what's that movie? It's like Extreme BMX movie. I don't remember
Mm,
the name of it, but like, yeah, they look great.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the style. It's just like keep it weird, and
Yeah.
then they also work with other piece of equipment.
Yeah. So I've got the top and drop, the cruise control drop, the grips on it.
Mhm.
I like those a lot. I like even the bottom ones. I don't use them that much. Actually, I use them a bit more now that I don't have aero bars on it. So now I use the drops
It's a
where I
win.
didn't when I had aero bars, right?
Yep.
But they're also good for bike packing because if you lean against stuff, which you always do, or put your bike down in the middle of the road for a picture, because otherwise you weren't there,
Yeah.
they don't destroy your grip tape
This
or
is
your
this is the
handlebar wrap.
you saw my Panorama Taiga AXP multiple time, and there's like crazy amount of gear on this thing. It's just like the fork and then the handlebar, like the like I have the e-silk suspension seat bows, the titanium
Yeah.
brook, the one
The
piece
titanium what?
titanium brooks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
you self built that one, didn't you? Took 2
No, no,
years.
no,
Oh
no,
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 that
no,
one you
no.
got rid
It's
of, huh?
the special one with titanium rails and
Mm-hmm.
the piece of equipment on this bike that is the most I get the most question about is the redshift grips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the handlebar grips. Everybody's like asking me where I got those. They're and I agree.
And do you
They're
always tell them, hey, BPA 15, say 15%?
yeah, exactly. It's
There's
my go.
nothing in it for me if you just use the
It's
promo code.
it's
So it's okay.
it's my go-to. No, but they are comfortable, and then it actually make me like use the drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They are very comfy.
it
Yeah.
reduced the pressure, and then it's just like spread it all over your hand. It's just,
Can you remember there was a time where we just didn't have those? You rode normal bikes and
no, it's just like
it is
42.
funny though, like stuff has progressed so much that like if I were to ride something I rode 10 years ago in Malaysia, my old road bike, I'd be like, wow, these handlebars suck.
Yeah,
Like this handlebar wrap sucks. Like these
yeah.
aero bars,
This
everything is so
saddle is
different.
horrible, and then like,
Yeah.
it would still be a Brooks, but no, it's we're spoiled that we
Stuff is
live.
progressing so
Yeah.
fast. Companies are innovating, which is cool. Like
Mhm.
it's really great to see it. But like I think you said earlier, did you say it? There's a lot of products right now. There's a lot of companies making products, or is that we were talking outside? I don't remember now.
Yeah,
This
that
podcast.
would be my my hot take for tonight. Is I feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of company. There's a lot of there's a lot of people producing mostly the same stuff
Mm.
right now, and there's a lot of product that literally overlap each other. So yeah, I'm it's it's not frustrating. It's just like, how can this be
Sustainable.
sustainable?
Mhm.
Yeah. Has like everyone is trying to do exactly the same thing and then just like pushing it on.
I think part of it is after COVID, people didn't want to go back. It's like just like the federal government workers in Ottawa don't want to go to the office.
No.
People didn't want to go back to what it was before. They started making some gear and like, you know what? Maybe I can make this work. But 1,000 other people have said the same thing. So now there's a lot of competition. However, like you said, it's very different, the commercial and the homemade.
hmm
And there's a market for both.
Yeah.
And like definitely the homegrown shops are not cheap either,
Mhm.
but they also have months and months of waiting. People are waiting for products. So if you're in a real rush, you're going to buy commercial. But if you're willing to wait, you're going to get what you want. And it's going to be hopefully really well done, right?
There's probably a bag
But even like
maker.
what you're saying, like within the commercial stuff too, like there's so many companies making the same products that
I will throw a number in the air right now, but like commercial burrito bag.
everybody makes a burrito bag, right?
I'm pretty sure I can get you like through my supplier. I'm pretty sure I can get you like 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then if I go,
They all have a different logo and they all look kind of similar in the end, right?
kind of similar, small, like
I've
little.
never used a burrito bag. Can you believe that?
No, really?
I've never put one
Is it
up.
because you have something else on your bike?
No, I never got into the small bags. So I used a lot of, I used the front roll for Blackburn's one when I was biking across part of Canada and stuff. But I never really went back to handlebar bags. There's some I'd love to try. Just never really got to it. Yeah.
I think it's more gravel.
I like some of the bigger Swift bags, like the roll top ones and stuff. But then when you use the aero bars, it makes it kind of difficult because it's hard access. And I don't like handlebar rolls. But now I got this little top shelf bag and it's stable and it's neat. And I'm like, oh, maybe a little front bag is good at all times. Like, doesn't mean that I'm going to have this handlebar set forever. So maybe it'll be a different one. But maybe next time I'll be like, all right, who makes the best burrito bag?
I'm into like trying to see where I can fit bag on my bike right now and what I'm missing. And since I have a sewing machine, but like, let's be honest with I wasn't even like there for your 200s episode. I didn't do anything. I'm sorry for that. Happy 200.
Yay.
I said it. But
you did story it, so that's what matters.
Hmm?
You did story it, so that's what
matters. I did a story. That was the my classic one, my classic answer. But since I know Brandon can do bags now, I'm like, I wonder if I could do it. It's like I have a kid at work that has a 3D printer and it's way better than mine. And I'm like, could you just create that? Like, I'm going to send you the STL. Can you just 3D print this for me? So like Brandon, I know he's doing really good.
So when you have an idea, you can just ask him to do it.
Yeah, the same thing with like the bag that I wanted to do for inside my panniers. So I just sent it to him, and then I think 1 hour later, he's like, "Hey, I just found a prototype." Like, and he sent me a picture, and I'm like, "Dude, you work so fast." So I think that's going to be my go-to for the future, is just like not trying to order something, but mostly just, I'm not sponsored. I'm not like by anyone so far. So, and I don't want to, because it keeps me.
Yeah. Well, you're also in the industry, so
I can do whatever I want.
Pretty good deals and stuff. And
so, except for Old Man Mountain, I'm really partial for those. But for bag and everything, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, could I probably put like something in between my aero bar that makes like.
Actually, the bag layout is Revelate Design.
Revelate Design, yeah.
It looks like a really, really well thought out bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that area on the side you never use.
That's
on the
true.
side of the aero bars is perfect for stuffing crap into it. Yeah. And you got your roll and you got a little bit of bungee cord or whatever to strap things on in the middle, which is perfect. Restrap with their race bag. Yeah. Very similar. You could mount stuff in the middle.
Yeah. You can put like
stuff your jacket, whatever, out of the way of the aero bars. But I like this concept with the little side area on it.
For small people, like having an aero bar on their bike is actually make actually a lot of sense, because you can put a bag and it's way higher than like if you would
Right.
use it.
You're not, no chance of tire rub.
Yeah. So no, aero bar and custom bags. This is my next project.
Speaking of Leo, she went around the world, set a record. It was very cool.
Yes.
Did you listen to the podcast at all?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay. I caught up like the first month, but not that I didn't want to listen to more. I was just so busy doing stuff. And then I was episodes and episodes and episodes behind. I was like, and then so I just didn't get to it. And she finished.
I'm going to listen to it in the car in the morning when I have to commute to work by car. I don't like to put anything.
You have to commute by car.
I know. In the winter.
You mean when you choose to commute by car?
So some people decided that it would be a good idea for public servant to go back to the office. So now
the traffic, man, has been brutal. Yeah,
it's horrible. So I have a lot of time to listen to podcasts in the car. So I catched up with some of yours. I catch up with others. I catch up with different subject podcasts, but it's actually not too bad if I use that time to actually listen.
I was saying the same thing. I gotta line up some podcasts and save them into a queue or whatever, because I'm on a bike 2 hours a day now, and it's like perfect time to listen to podcasts. And I haven't been so far. It's just been like Spotify, but I'm going to.
You use bone transmission?
Yes, I use track. The shocks.
Yeah, the shocks. So it's like the skull transmission. I don't know.
Bone conduction.
Yeah. Bone conduction. Yeah. Is it good?
Awesome.
Yeah.
You want to try them sometime?
Yeah. I would like to try them.
Awesome. Because I have let 3 different people try them now. They were just like, how are they? And they've all gone and bought them. I mean, I should be getting sponsored by shocks, whatever they're called.
Use the code BBT.
It's I commute at 32 kilometers an hour because that's the fastest my bike goes. Up until about 40, I can listen to music. Definitely, I could listen to podcast up to 32, probably a little bit faster. So if you go down a slight slope, I'd say coming down the Gatineau Park Hills, 45, 50, nothing. I just push the button and mute it and continue my music after. Or if it's music, I don't care. But if it was a podcast, I'd just pause it and continue when I'm at the bottom of the hill. They last 10 hours. Audio's good. The call quality is good. They're the best bike investment I've made. No, not the best, but they're up there. They're really great. They're really great.
I will probably buy a pair just because of that.
Yeah. $179 I paid on sale from $229. So when they have a sale, it's just snag them. And
not too bad.
Yeah. They're really good. I know my buddy Nima Khalhadi, who was on the podcast a couple times, way back. He had them when he came through the region and we cycled to Quebec, and then he returned them on before 30 days or 60 days, whatever their warranty is. He didn't like it when they're full volume. They they vibrate. So it kind of tickles. He felt some people don't like it because it makes them maybe feel a little dizzy and stuff, because it just affects people differently. It doesn't bother me at all. But I've heard some people say they don't like it on full blast. They always go a couple notches down just to avoid that vibration feeling.
Yeah. Compare to true, I don't know, transparent, I think they call AirPods.
So the ones where the sound goes through for cars and stuff. Yeah. Not as good probably, because when you're wearing headphones and they're in your ears, the sound's going directly in, right?
Still, yeah.
So, but good. Yeah. I mean, you're not listening to them and saying I really love to hear the cymbals in this song. You're listening, you're using them. You can hear music. It's not going to be theater quality FTX, whatever.
You don't want to blast music when you're driving and then not being able to hear anything in your car. So it's the same thing with bike.
And sometimes I'm at school and I'll have them on. I'm doing prep time. So it's my free time, and I'm working on stuff and pausing to talk to somebody. And then it's time to go to class, and I walk to class, and the kid's like, "Oh, Mr. Panaski, are you listening to music?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize they were on." I didn't realize.
That's true, because they're not.
And then I leave them there, because if I take them off, I'll lose them. And if I put them around my neck, I really feel like I look weird. So I just leave them on my head, and now nobody asks me. So now I usually just play music. They're talking to me, and I'm just nodding. Yes. I'm actually listening. No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else? Wild ideas, bucket list, goals. Oh, did I tell you about this randoming the calendar or something? I forget what they called it, but it was Stella Tandem when they sent in their voice note about what they've been up to. Is I forget exactly what it's called, but like randoming the year or calendar or something like that. But its goal is to do like a 200K every month
Okay.
for a year. And I was like, that sounds really cool.
Here in Canada.
Yeah. So I mean, it's February's Wendigo, so that's an easy. I could just do
Yeah.
the 200 and suffer through that. Because I'm sure this winter will not be as cushy and easy as last winter. And
I hope
I mean,
so.
it's unlikely. January, maybe, find a paved route that's plowed and get lots of blinking lights and just do it like a proper gravel ride or whatever. Road bike, gravel bike. And then other months, I don't know. That's just an idea.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a race speed, just get out for a big ride.
Just a 200. 200,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
It could be a 300. If it's nice weather, just do a 300,
Because I think randoming is like 200,
They do
400, 600.
Usually they have 2, 3, 4, 6, and then 1,000 and a 1,200 if you do like PvP.
Would you do like, would you be interested of like doing that in the future?
I don't know. I think I talked about doing the randoming this summer. I did the 300.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a 300. And it was really nice. It was nice to be on slicks. It was nice to go fast. Like I forgot how good it felt to go fast. And I've heard people, I think Dominic talks about it. People are making this transition back to road biking from gravel because gravel's a lot of fun, but it's also really fun to go fast.
Yeah.
And, I was talking about it. How do I forget? I forgot her name. I'm so bad with names. Anyways, the girl I was riding with, there was about 4 of us on the gravel ride.
Mhm.
And as soon as we were on gravel, we'd be like side by side. We'd be chatting more. It felt more relaxed. As soon as we hit the pavement, we automatically got into single file.
Pace line.
And we pace lined it. And we were taking turns leading. And nobody was talking. And as soon as we hit gravel again, boom, we all spread out again. And we took over the road. And we were just chatting and having a fun time. So like, I think that's the difference is like you look at racers, they have this mindset that they're like, or even like somebody like Dominic who did a really fast time on the 110K. They're focused throughout where like I'm much more like I'm on gravel. It's chill.
Yeah.
I'm on pavement. It means business.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to like ride pavement, go fast, pace line a lot of times. I mean, when I was with, when I did that 300, I was riding with another guy, a good chunk of it. And we rode side by side.
Which one did you do?
What was the name? It was the Locks. It did start, Britannia, or started at, not Britannia, what's the other one? Anyways, up that one of the beaches.
Wellington. Not Wellington. Westboro.
No, further west. So you go Westboro.
Petrie. No, further west.
Close to where the marina is there.
Britannia.
Andrew Hayden Park.
Yeah, Andrew Hayden.
Started at Andrew Hayden, went towards Carp, then to Elgin, or not to Elgin, towards Almont, but slightly west of it, and then down through to Lanark, and then down to the lock. That's like this long boat lock. It's basically a little piece of dam, like not dam, but it's a little boat lock that to go through across the Ottawa River. But it's quite wide, but they built the land in, so that's just a short little bridge, and it's a hand cranked turned bridge.
Yeah, I know exactly which one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
It's
Windy
like
as hell.
It's like in the narrow.
Something narrow, yeah. Locks narrow, maybe. It's
narrow,
Locks
I think it's called narrow.
Narrow locks or something. Really cool.
Yeah.
And then came up back through like Merrickville and through towards Stittsville, Canada stuff. And,
It's nice, right?
Really nice ride, 300K.
How long?
I started at 6 a.m. I got home at 10:30.
Oh, reasonable.
Yeah. And
That's
then
a good day on the bike.
and then later in the year, I made a route. I don't think I've ever posted about it, but it's called Bikes, Boats, and Bridges. So it started, I set it to start at Champlain Bridge so I could park at the parking lot.
Okay, yeah.
And then I rode to Quillon or to Fitzroy Harbor or whatever it is.
Yeah. Crillon.
Took the bridge, took the boat to Quillon, rode past Elmer, following the bike trails and stuff all the way through Gatineau, all the way to Papineauville, basically.
Yep.
Then took the ferry across towards Alfred, where my parents live over there.
Yep.
Then I went to my mom's house for dinner, but obviously, if you want to ride the route, you can't go to my mom's house for dinner unless I'm with you. And then I took the rail trail all the way back, basically to Blackburn Hamlet.
Mhm.
That's the one part where you have to take roads, which kind of sucks, but it's like, there's other roads, but it's like paved roads and not as yummy, but cutting from Blackburn to the Aviation Parkway.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you get on the Aviation Parkway, then you get towards where the Air Museum is there, and then you take the whatever parkway it's called back. But then at the end, you cross all 6 bridges. So you cross one bridge, cycle to the next one, recross the bridge, cross, and finish at Champlain.
Huh.
And I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
It was neat to see the view of the city from 5-6 different bridges, and it was exactly 300 or 301 kilometers. So it's like
monster ride.
Yeah. And I did that. I left at 5 a.m. No. Yeah, 5, maybe 7. I forget. But I got home. I finished exactly at midnight. And I rode to Domino's Pizza with my car. Drove to Domino's Pizza, ate most of a pizza, and then I went home to sleep.
They probably saw you as like, who's that guy? And then they started to cry as like you order like 7 pizzas.
We want to close. Just make me 7 pizzas.
Last time we ate pizza together, apart from today, earlier, 20 minutes ago, it was like at the end of your when you finished the BT 700. And
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, man, you fell asleep on the table. I still have that picture of you. I think it's your picture. The picture in my phone when you call me, it's you sleeping on the table. No kidding.
Romantic. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think the boats, bike boats and bridges, or whatever I called it. It's 3 of those words in random order. Yeah, it's a really nice ride. It's relatively flat. I think there was like 800 meters of climbing across 300 kilometers. Like, it's nothing.
No. You go to Montreal, it's like 700.
Yeah, just a fun day on a bike. Just riding, chatting to people. You have like Parc National de Plaisance right there as you pass it. It's a really great place to camp if you're looking to camp, because you're almost halfway.
Can you camp there?
They have a cyclist, Bienvenue cyclist there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's like $11 plus your entrance is another nice. It costs like $20.
Yep.
Just cheap.
It's not too bad for
cheap for Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's right on the Ottawa River. It's supposed to be pretty nice. Initially, I had like using the routes in there and stuff, but then I was like, I'll make that like user optional, because you got to pay entrance to the park, and
that's the thing.
And it's not really gaining anything. It's like a little detour. So
it's better. It's better riding.
Better. Yeah.
You have to kind of like pay to play.
Yeah, exactly. So or you could just ride right in and out before anybody asks, but that's your option.
I've been caught.
I paid. I went in, but I paid, and then I didn't ride the whole thing anyways. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, they got like 50 kilometers of bike trail basically. So, yeah. What else? Any big triumphs this year? Not the log drivers' wolves.
Oh God.
Yeah, mosquitoes. Huh? You just hate bugs.
Can I talk about it? Because I think it's like probably a running gag on the podcast now. It's like my experience on the log driver. And I'm really
3.0.
I'm really at peace with it so far, because like I think it's like probably people expect me to tell the story of how I had a miserable time on this. So before I do the triumph, I will my fail of the year. I don't see it as a fail, but like I'll call it a fail. We decided to do, Emily and I, my girlfriend, we decided to do the log driver complete this year, and then do the thing,
but in a pacing, not racing
style. In a really a vacation mode, and it's not made for that. You cannot.
Why is that?
Because it's probably because of my mindset, but like my vision of going slow is actually touring. And touring is
stopping and seeing places,
seeing places, eating at restaurant or cooking or going for resupply and everything. There is 2 resupply in the first 175 kilometer of the log driver. So you can stop for lunch, but it's going to be a dépanneur. And apart from pickle from a
That's in
jar,
Lanark or somewhere, right?
yeah,
Is that Lanark?
Lanark,
Yeah.
yeah. So
that's 50 kilometers in.
yeah,
Yeah.
50, but after that, there's not a lot.
Nothing until Sherbet Lake.
Shabbat's Lake, and then and it was really my mindset was kind of like torn apart because I was trying to not go fast and tour, but like we still ended up doing like 175 kilometer the first day
That's until that restaurant, right? Where you could.
because we started from home, so we added
That's right.
we added 40K to that. So I like to ride for a long time, but once we got to Sharbot Lake, we already the whole thing this year is like we booked campsite in advance. So we went to Sharbot Lakes, but like that day it was like probably 40 degree. So and there's a lot of people, like half the pack actually dropped out.
I heard it was hot.
Yeah,
it was hot.
It was really.
Think we got to Lanark 50K. I was finishing my 3rd bottle. I had brought 3 bottles because I knew I'd probably need extra. And then we resupplied. We drank there. And then got to Sharbot Lake. And I had just finished like 15 kilometers before we reached there, 10 kilometers maybe. I had timed it really well. Finished my 3rd bottle. Then we stopped there for like 2 hours and I just pounded drinks. It was brutal.
So
yeah, I'm not surprised half the field quit.
I passed out on the side of the 7.
Oh yeah?
Yep. I passed out. And the last thing I said to Emily is like, is my bike on the right side? Because I didn't want to.
I heard about this. Yeah.
So I just like, she said yes, I dropped my bike and then I just passed out on the side of the road, like completely dark. Went back to me and I was like, oh, wow, okay, let's ride to the campground. I was like,
this is before reaching Sharbot Lake? Or
after reaching,
when you were going to leave.
Yeah. We were about to get to the campground. So we went to the campground, like bought everything in that like national park, provincial park, like store in the entrance of the campground. And then we stayed there. We stayed there for another night. We waited the day. I didn't want to ride. It was vacation, so it was not a race. We just wanted to enjoy our time. There was space in the campground. And that night, because it's provincial park, sure, there's people that's going to party. It's written in the star.
Is this it's not some of the Crown Land? This was different.
No. That was before. That was still at Sharbot Lake. So there's like people that decided like that a rave would be a good idea.
Okay.
So I didn't sleep that night.
And you're and to add details to this, Carl's the worst camp sleeper I've ever seen.
That changed last weekend, actually.
Okay.
I slept so well because it turns out that if it's
CBD
silent,
oil really works.
if it's silent, if it's dark, if it's cold, and if there's no bugs, I sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night.
Cold is good, man. Cold is, you can always thermoregulate. Hot sucks.
Yeah. It's the layer of extreme. I told that to someone the other day. It's just
one
like,
of my students asked me recently, he said, Mr. Panaski, what world would you like to rather live in? Really, really hot or really, really cold? I said, I don't know. Because if it was either extremes, we'd have no plants and we'd all die. But I'm like, I would prefer the cold.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I could layer up, but like you can only take off so much clothes until your skin, and then you can't take off your skin. So like heat sucks.
No, it's not the heat that gets you; it's the humidity. I
told my wife that one day too, because like I like the house a little cooler.
Yeah,
they're Persians; they like it really warm. And she's like, "Well, there's 3 of us," and I was like, "I can't take off more clothes without getting naked, which would be inappropriate. And to get even more off, I'd have to like rip my skin off." And she started laughing.
You can layer up.
I'm like, you guys can put on track pants and hoodies and socks if you need to.
So back to the log driver. Yeah. Didn't sleep really well, but I was okay. I was okay to ride.
That was after 2 nights, yeah?
Yeah, after 2 nights. And we've been told over like media that like half the pack like quit at this time.
Okay.
So we are okay. We're still going to ride. It's a vacation. So let's take it easy. And we have like another camping spot reserve like further away, like 120K away. We ride 90K.
120K is Calabogie or just before somewhere?
Just before Calabogie.
Okay.
just before you get
Oh
on
yeah, just before you leave
Arkle.
Arkle Road, the
Yeah.
whole height thing. There's a campground, right? Yeah.
I think it was actually it was on Arkle Road in the middle of Arkle Road.
Okay.
There was like we ride ass, and then we're gonna
Then you finish
but we didn't make it. And we camped on Ranger Road. We saw like a crown land, and I was like, that's perfect. Let's just camp here. After being attacked all day by deer fly, because it was 1 month earlier this year, the log driver. We decided to set up the tent. I lit up a fire. I was like, yeah, there's not going to be any bugs. And then there was a wall of rain. It's just like, kill the fire, kill our spirit. We go on our like little big Agnes 2-person tent. We're like squeezed. I get bitten by a spider.
Oh, geez.
And then
those always swell. Like, doesn't matter who you are.
and then I had no phone reception. So I was trying to figure out if I was about to die or if I was just like about to scratch like a little hitch. And
Dr. Google.
Yeah, and there's just like a blurry
Is
picture.
Dr. Redan, I need advice.
Just a blurry picture of that spider. It's just like, I guess I'll know in the morning.
Wishing you would have saved for Alexander Redan's phone number when he gave it to at the summit.
Yeah. I should have done that. It's just like, it's just cutting. It's just like, I can't hear you. It's like, So, once the deer fly went off, we were like, that's amazing. The mosquito came in, and there was so many of them
in the tent.
No, outside the tent. There was so many of them, like there was a droning, not just a mosquito, like a droning. It's just like, so I couldn't sleep that night. So in the morning, no, of course not. I'm not sleeping. In the morning, I looked at Emily. She looked at me, and then that look when you want to communicate something, but you don't want to be the first one to say. She looked at me. I look at her, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna say it first. You want to go home? She said, like, yeah, this is not a vacation so far. So up on her bike, went down Ranger Road, and then went through a straight line home, 100K bailout ride.
Okay, so it's probably the exact route I went for 50 of it. From that corner.
Yeah. Until we get to a certain point. Yes, it was exactly the same. And after that, I took the TCT. We took the TCT.
Right.
Home.
Yeah, you had to go that way.
And so no, not this year. Again, not finishing the log driver. It's my my nemesis, my
Achilles heel.
Yeah, but I will one day finish it. But Triumph is just reconnecting with the fact that I can just ride my bike for fun. I'm still trying to get that mindset to stick with me, not trying to finish every ride with a sprint. But last weekend was actually fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's hard to tell yourself that this was a ride that was important or like that was a real ride, because
it doesn't feel like you pushed it. Or
no,
anything,
exactly.
Right?
So you're like, oh no, that was not a real one. That was not like a real outing or anything. But like, no, that was nice. That was perfect. So for me, that was just enough to put me back on track and make me happy.
Yeah. For me, similar setbacks. Yeah. I went out to do the Canadian Shield XL, which is a huge route, like it's been edited a bit. Now it's 1,150 kilometers. It's still long. Eric Moissin, I can actually read what he said.
Yeah.
He did the 400 recently. Last year he went out and rode it and broke his wrist when he crashed in the woods in the middle of the night.
This guy's a machine.
And he's a phenomenal, powerful cyclist. Slightly older than me, probably around 50, right? Let's say.
We still have time.
Yeah. And I still have time to get there. And so this year he was like last year he fell off somewhere in Mont Saint Marie, went off an edge of a thing and trapped his bike. And then when he unclipped, he fell down more and broke his wrist. This year he went out and he rode, this was the most challenging course I've ever done. I obviously knew a gravel bike was not the best choice, but could not refuse the challenge. And I think that was his problem. Was similar to our first big bikepacking route thing.
Yep.
He worked all day, and then started riding that night with the intention to go nonstop and finish it. And I think by the end of being awake for 40 hours or 37 hours, he was just too tired. So he didn't finish, but he did like almost all of it, 376 kilometers. He was probably about 25K left, but figured that maybe he wasn't hitting the time he wanted, and he figured, well, I was going for an FKT, and if I'm not going to get that, I'm happy with the ride. And, you know, that's that.
He's good at pushing. Like I've been following him and he's really good at
Yeah. So I
pushing
think
the
it was
limit.
more just saying very tired.
That-
Going back into the Gatineau Park is not necessarily the safest move now. Yeah. Anyways, and I rode the XL, which is 1150K. Made some adjustments as I went, trying to constantly improve the route because some of it's pretty far away in Mont Tremblant area or past. And it's hard to get out there to constantly go and route check. And, you know, especially when we had big storms and things have changed. And so I try to get out there and finally ride the whole thing start to stop. But like I said earlier, I went through some evaluating of the importance of things. And I had a really, really great ride. So kind of like what you said about last weekend, like it was just slow, fairly slow,
Yes.
you know, sub 200 kilometer days.
Mhm.
Less 150, 100 the first day. I wasn't out to kill myself.
I saw you did laundry in the middle of a river, in the middle of a city.
Oh, I did laundry in La Belle.
I love that your story. I
Yeah.
was like, you're just like, I'm doing laundry and I like go for a
People are
swim.
playing everywhere in the water and there's Panaski washing his underwear.
That was a funny one.
Well, I mean, it was the rocks. Nobody was over there. So I was like, I just went in the water. Actually, I'm naked in there. And I had my extra shorts. So I just dunked them in the water, took the one off, stuck the other ones on.
We're
Finished washing the one set, hung them up to dry. And
We're
then
lucky in Canada that the water is not blue. Yeah, there's just like that
brown.
murky water. It's just like you can get naked and
It's blue. You could have seen me if you were anywhere nearby. But
Chris
I did it as quick as I can to like off and on.
Yeah.
Snapped up the shorts so I could like wash the chamois because I had like one short and like the 7 mesh chamois,
Mhm.
like underwear chamois. So I had that as one set, and then I had a bib short for the
Okay.
second. So I just alternate days to give my body time to like air out and recover. And
yeah, you don't want to keep.
but it was a great ride. It was really fun to just be out, but also it'd been really nice to share that experience. So
Mhm.
that was my big takeaway from that.
Do you think you would have finished it if someone else was with you, or
Great question. Probably. I think I wouldn't have felt the same way I did. Like I would have missed Jasmine, but I would have had somebody like to distract me more, you know?
Mhm.
You can only listen to so much podcasts or music. And I find that a lot of times I bring my headphones to listen to stuff and then I don't actually just enjoy the quiet of the world around me
Mhm.
or the noise of the world around me for that matter. But yeah, I think maybe if you know, like if had you been there or somebody else,
Yeah.
I would have been more keen to keep riding and like completing it. But I'm not upset. Really. I'm at peace, you know, like somebody asked me, an LP said like, how do you feel like having, you know, you went out to do this and you didn't do it. Like, are you okay? And like, cause I was talking to him when I was thinking about stopping earlier. He says, how are you going to feel? How do you feel now? And how will you feel 3 months from now? I was like, oh, that is a really great way of
Good
phrasing
one.
it because I'm like, right now, like that day, I was like, I'll feel good stopping right now, but I don't know if I'll be happy in 3 months. But I said, if I were to, and then I thought about it, I said, if I were to do this extra part of the route up around Montagne du Diable, also avoiding the main highway there from Mont Laurier to going towards Maniwaki.
Yep.
I said I would avoid a lot of that road. I would get to ride some stuff that I've really wanted to like ride it full on complete, like not just having ridden small chunks and pieces. And I'll have done everything after Maniwaki. So I'll be really happy. Even 3 months from now, I won't feel like I didn't achieve what I went out to do, even though obviously there was a few hundred kilometers left or 250-ish.
That's a good mindset.
Maybe there's only about 150K left.
Oh,
Because, well, I mean, I rode 100K home, so it would have been 250K.
you could probably go back and ride it.
Oh, yeah.
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 That's a good mind. That's a really good mindset.
Yeah,
That's
so
like
how do you
3
feel
months.
now? How do you feel 3 months from now?
I will remember. LP is like a really wise guy.
Yeah. He's fun to talk to. Yeah, so that was that. And so it's a bit of a triumph and a setback, I guess. It's kind of ties into itself. And the other big triumph is just biking every day to work. It's
I'm
I
super
talked about it.
impressed.
I don't know how long it'll go for. My goal is 80%, so I'm pretty stubborn sometimes. And like yesterday, Sima was like, I want to go to work or no, Tuesday. She's like, I'm going to go to work on Tuesday. Can you drive your car so we can go together and carpool? I said, no.
That's what I do with Emily.
Yeah, well, because her work is near IKEA. My school's on Woodruff, just off Woodruff. It's like 10-minute drive. And she's like, so can we carpool? I was like, no, drive your own car. I'm riding my bike.
The thing
I was
with,
like, you have an e-bike. You could take your bike. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not taking my bike to work. I'm like, well, there you go. Like,
the thing with Emily is like, which make it a little bit different is like she works downtown, completely
oh, is she
downtown.
downtown now?
Yeah,
Mhm.
completely. She always been. So it's really hard for her just to like, I'll take the bike and you take the car. Because
Mhm.
like it's $25 a day. It just makes
Oh,
no
yeah.
sense.
And you can park at your work for free. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm dropping her off, and then she's like, "We go by bike once in a while."
Maybe once there's the train.
The train.
Once the train is all the way to Canada, man, you guys could jump on the train and you could have your bike with you, and you get off the train and ride your bike to Gatineau.
So something like in my bucket list is to go back to Japan with a folding bike, because you told me you did it, and I'm like, this is the best way to do it with trains and everything. But like, same thing for Ottawa. I want to be able to ride to the train, fold my bike, jump in the
Yeah.
train, get off the train at like in center town, downtown, and just ride to work. And
Well, have you seen the new Brompton 20-inch wheels? Brompton finally released a bike that has 20-inch wheels, which is pretty standard. So it's
Mhm.
easier to find stuff around the world
so
than
like what is it
16.
like? 16, yeah.
And
Too
like
small.
even Seema's Birdie has 18, and that's like big size compared to Brompton, right? 20-inch wheels and a Shimano Alpine internal hub instead of their ridiculous gear system they had before, which was like a really weird way of shifting 6 speeds, you know?
Mhm.
I think it's a Shimano Alpine 8,
Yep.
but it's still like perfect. And they're labeling it like it's the new Alpaca or something from Bike Friday. Basically, it's like, yeah, this is the off-road Brompton. I'm like, no, it's just a normal Brompton. Like,
Yeah.
they've just done a really good job to finally update it to make it like make sense, you know?
I told you earlier about the cargo bike. The Bike Friday Alpaca is also this other bike that I'm like,
The Holiday cargo one, the Holiday that
no.
Barry
I'm
has?
just like cargo bike in general.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
one, but like the Bike Friday is like put into cart, look at it. It's like, not now. I want a Bike Friday Alpaca. It's look like so ridiculous to ride, and
Yeah.
and for future commuting as well, that
Mhm.
will make sense. So no, once the
If
train
the
is there,
trains get going and you don't have
Oh.
one, you can borrow my Bike Friday.
yeah, I will definitely take you on that offer. But
I just need it back twice a year.
yeah,
I don't ride it as much as I actually commuted a decent amount like the last year between the Bike Friday, especially if I didn't want to leave, like I was going to go somewhere and like, or meet Seema, and I don't want to take the bike and put it on a car, right?
Mhm.
I could just fold it up and throw it in the trunk.
Yeah.
So those are the times I kind of use that. Otherwise, I use the gravel bike, the Panorama, because it's a full size bike, goes a little bit faster. Even if it's just a few kilometers, it makes a difference when you're commuting, right? Yeah. Anyways, that's that.
And I'm gonna ask the next question.
Oh, okay. Questions.
Any planning and training? Like any planning for the future goal for like next year apart from that 200?
Yeah. Well, working on the summit. So that kind of always comes into what I'm doing for next year.
We're already talking about that.
We're talking about I decided not to wait till January this year because last year I waited just a little too long. I was busy and I'm gonna stick to e-biking daily. That's clutch. Of course I do want a fat bike as well. I found though the one problem is when I'm e-biking and I come home, because it's a workout still, even if it's like
Mhm.
maybe it's like riding hard 10 kilometers, which is not much, but it's still like you can get a workout.
Mhm.
I don't feel like jumping on the bike and going for another ride, right?
Mhm.
So I'm thinking probably my gravel bike, the Katadin, is going to be on the trainer downstairs for most of the winter.
Yep.
And I'm going to probably sign back up to like Exert, maybe have a Zwift account, not a Swift account.
Zwift and not a Swift.
Or maybe Trainer Road, because I find their programs are really, really good. I used it last year a bit and they're good plans.
There's two category of people. That's the one that really like Zwift, and there's a lot.
I've never really used Zwift, so I thought try it, but
I don't know. I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Emily is all, like trainer
More
road on,
statistical.
yeah, and
Wants to just follow the push hard now.
I'm more like somebody just passed me, I'm gonna chase him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That may be me too. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. Like training wise, I think when there's hockey games and I'm going to watch hockey, I should ride the bike. Doesn't mean ride for the full 3 hours because I'd be doing enough. Like zone 2 is going to work every day.
Mhm.
That's just good. This is like great training miles on
Yep.
the e-bike, right? You know, they say like 80% of training should be zone 1 or 2 or something like that, right? It's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah. You do it.
So I just need to integrate now some intervals and stuff, and I can do that on the trainer.
Mhm.
So trainer, keep the rides shorter so I don't get bored because nobody loves a trainer. Maybe some people do. And then
Some
keep my low zone stuff, my commutes. And I want to do more gravel racing next year.
You love this gravel de pack.
I liked it a lot. I wasn't as fast as I used to be. Like I was telling somebody, I said, when I used to do century rides, because I was a road cyclist in Malaysia, these century events, 160K, so fun. 5,000, 7,000 people at an event in Malaysia. Insane. But, it was just a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And I like having that reason to push yourself for one big ride. The one problem I have in Canada is it's expensive.
Always.
Like $100 to do this gravel ride is not cheap. And if you go to like Big Red Gravel Run, go to the one by Granby, or Broma.
The GPT.
Yeah, you go to any of these things, like you could, if you say, okay, I'm going to do every month one event, you could spend $500 you can't spend on your bike now.
Yeah.
So plus fuel, plus
Mhm.
camping if you don't sleep in your car somewhere in Walmart parking lot or something, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of money to spend. So I don't know how many I'll do, but
Riding your bike is free, but not there. So
exactly. So I don't know. I'd like to do more, but maybe just 2 or 3 next year.
yeah, they're
We'll
fun.
see.
Yeah, there's some of them that are well organized, like Les Sans Abesset, which is in Bromont. That's probably this one you were
That's
talking
what,
about.
was it just a few weeks ago or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dominic said it was amazingly organized.
It's been going for so long.
Vernon Halliburton.
That was nice.
Wasn't it great?
That was
You went,
nice.
I forgot you went this year.
Yeah, that was. I didn't go this year. I went with when you did it.
Oh no, Alex Garcia went this year with his wife.
No, I was somewhere else. I couldn't. I think it was like Cirque.
But it's nice because they have like 4 aid stations that you're going to pass every lap. So it's so cool. You can stop whenever you want.
I did 162. I want to go over 200 next time.
How many laps is that?
6.
Okay, I did 6 too.
Yeah, we did exactly the same thing, but you beat me.
Oh yeah,
at
it was
the
the same
sprint.
year. Yeah, right.
Yeah, beat me at the sprint.
Right. It was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I
it was
want
3
to.
years
I want to
ago,
do
right?
it again. So next year I'm gonna register for sure.
Yeah.
That's
right. I'd like to do it. Yeah, I'd like to do it again next year, maybe. Maybe grab Elders Park because it's so close to home. Like maybe literally ride from home because they start at 10:30 in the morning. So you can like ride from home, do the ride, and then rest for a little bit, and then ride home.
Yeah.
Like it's an hour
close.
home, so it's not far. An
Yeah.
hour on the bike. So.
Yeah, you should.
And and as for bikepacking, I'm not sure. I did talk. I might change it up next year. I mentioned to Seema that I would like to finish my cross Canada from Winnipeg.
Oh,
I did. So I'd like to ride Winnipeg to Newfoundland. It kind of came into my head. I was like, I could ride from Winnipeg. I could stop at Lake Huron where my dad sails for a week.
Okay.
Go sailing with him, store the bike at one of his many friends' places or whatever, or even take the wheels off, put it on the front bunk of the boat. And then get on the bike again and keep riding and stop at home for a week, spend some time with Jasmine to remind her that I'm still alive, hopefully, if I haven't got hit by a car on Highway 17.
Yep.
And then maybe ride with Seema and Jasmine to Quebec City and send them home on a bus.
Yeah.
Or with my cousins, ask them to drive or something, who knows? And then ride on myself. So that's kind of I would like to finish across Canada. I don't care that it's, whether I'm bikepacking or road riding, I just want to ride across.
Finish that.
Yeah, that was a road adventure. So I'm quite content to be on the road and I can push big days because, I look at everything I knew back then and I was averaging 190 and now I'm maybe not as good a shape, but I'm much more in tune with my bike and my body. And like, if I want to push 300 kilometers one day, I can do it. If I want to ride 250, I can do it,
That's the crazy thing about getting older. I feel like when I was younger, I was like a young gun and I could do like 100K very fast.
Yeah.
I would go over that, I would die. Like nowadays, I can do like 270, 280. And I'm like, that was a good day.
Yeah.
So I think it's because I don't know what changed in your body that you get better at long distance and
Maybe
endurance.
LP will tell us.
Yeah, you should. It's all in the mind.
Anyways, yeah. So that's pretty much 2 hours.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Another extremely long episode of us talking bikes.
Yeah, always.
I hopefully we don't get too many hate mail.
From
Yeah, just a joke.
no. No. It's just there's too much people making bike. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking last thing is yeah, I like road riding too. I'd like to do more of it. Gatineau Park not necessarily because I mean I do it for training just to get up and down and stuff, but like it's also part of the reason why I got out of road riding when I came to Canada is because I was like I went riding in the Gatineau Park a few times and waved to people and nobody would ever acknowledge me, not even the time of the day. And I was like, there's a lot of stuck up road riders. And then so I started gravel riding and now there's a lot of people gravel riding. And
it's a new road.
And people that don't wave. So it's time to go back to road.
The social aspect is not there. Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, I don't know. It's like, I think like, oh, actually there's one thing at the Gravel du Parc, they had lots of photographers, right? They had like trucks, they had like pickup truck, and they had photographers. A lot of pictures being taken of people with club jerseys.
Yeah.
It's free advertisement, right? Like, so that was a little annoying because they would see you coming and you'd see them taking pictures of the person that has like the whatever site. Oh, one of the women group there. They have Le Shop and
Motrix.
Lots of pictures of them, and then anybody else that was riding in that group that didn't have a club jersey, not a picture.
I think it's easier for them to just like actually tag people, but like at the same.
I think that's so they can tag Motrix and they can get a free advertisement. So, but I mean, it's still like kind of.
It's the new road.
Yeah,
you have to get used to it.
They should take pictures of everybody.
It's probably because you're. It's probably because you're not used to gravel as much.
Like, don't you know who I am? I'm Bikepack Adventures.
Yeah. No, I'd like to add that you said do over for your Trans-Canada adventure. I want to redo the for next year. I want to do La Malbaie once over again. It's one that it's at Petite Rivière Saint-François. You start from the Parc National des Hautes-Gorges, and then you just ride up, and then you do the river, and then you go up in the Zec au Sable. And then you go around, you cross a river, you go through an hydrocot. I think it's like over.
Is this like packing?
No, actually, it's just bike touring. I did it a couple of years ago, and they just redid the road, and it was sand, so it was impossible to ride. So I had to quit. But
now it's paved.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just like the sand has been washed over a little bit, so I'm gonna redo it. I think I'm gonna. So that's my 2025 goal is just to go back there. I have family down there, so same type of deal than you. So I'm gonna go over and just like do that. It's beautiful. The camping spots are absolutely amazing. There's no bugs. So, and then there's not a lot of people, and then it's cold at night, so I should sleep.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's mine.
Awesome. Well, that is it. It's 1 hour, 58 minutes. So we're going to sign out, I think.
Just
under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go over. So
no, that's perfect for me.
All right, man. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
Keep on pedaling, Carl.
Have a lot.